iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to race number 18 of the ASRC Sportsman Series. Tonight, we have a good one on hand, folks. We are at Hotlanta, Atlanta Motor Speedway for race number 2 of the playoffs. I am Brett the Jet here in the booth for Turn 3 Racing Network, as always joined by my brother Carson. Carson, you want to say hi?
Hello, Brett. As always, it is a pleasure to be with you here in the booth, and I'm excited for the race tonight here at Atlanta, the playoffs, the second round, and we should see some action. It should be wild and a lot of fun to watch this race here tonight.
That it will be, Carson. Last week we saw Dan Parmley put on a clinic at the Roval, their second road course race of the ASRC Sportsman Season 2 series, and Dan Parmley gets the job done. He has the points lead in the red division, followed by Eric Papanow, Austin Nielsen, Kyle Munson, and Dave Payton. Over in the blue division, it's looking like Nathan Henry leading the blue division points with that blue division win. Jeff O'Quinn, Justin Callahan, John Sinu, and John DeMeester rounding out the blue division top 5 as well, Carson. So those are the guys we got to keep an eye on tonight. We'll pull up the timing and scoring from practice. Matthew Largan in the 4 car, top of the board. Eric Lake in second, Carson. Both guys out of the playoffs, both in the top 2 spots. Then third goes to Dan Parmley. Tommy Haynes in 4th, and Brian Wilderson in 5th. So playoff drivers, Carson, struggling a little bit here.
Yeah, Brett, we'll have to see if the practice times, are a sign of things to come for the race, or if things will get shaken up here with qualifying.
Yep, we will have to wait and see as practice finishes on up here. We will head over to qualifying, and we'll take a look at some of the drivers' runs here in qualifying. This track is very abrasive, Carson, so these drivers' track position will matter a little bit, but not a ton, as tire saving will be the name of the game. And speaking about a driver that can tire save pretty good, we will look at the 710 machine. Dan the Man Parmley getting up to speed here, the points leader. We'll see what he can do here in qualifying. We see the 710 machine getting up to speed here. Here he will start his first time lap. We'll see where Dan Parmley can go on the timing scoring charts. So it looks like he will stay high in turns 1 and 2, and that will be the fast way around here. Keeping that momentum up, and then 3 and 4, you want to be right down on the bottom, as much as the white line as you can get. We'll see him floated on down. Doesn't quite get it all the way to the bottom, so maybe a little bit speed left on the table, but this will be a solid run for the 710 machine as he clicks off a 31.56 we saw at the top of the boards. I believe it was a 31.4 Carson, so a solid lap from Dan Parmley, lap number 1. That'll probably be his best lap as the tire wear. You already feel, folks, if you're in the driver's seat, even after 1 lap, these tires start eating away on themselves on this old abrasive surface of Atlanta. We are still in the old configuration of Atlanta this year. For the real life stuff, it got repaved, so now it's kind of almost super speedway-esque, but here on iRacing, we still have the old super abrasive one as Dan Parmley does better his second lap, so drivers may have to keep that in mind as Dan Parmley puts down a 31.44. Next, we'll check out the 051 machine of Ron Hart. He's getting up to speed here. Ron joins us every so often here on the Monday night series. He's always puts on a show. As you see him get sideways there, he'll back on out of it. We'll go check out the 25 of Nick Fleury. He's on his first time lap. We'll see where Nick Fleury can go. He's usually in the pace car. Tonight he's out there and hit the 25 machine. So we'll be excited to see Nick Fleury out on track in a race car. As Carson, how about second place Lee Campbell? An awesome qualifying run. Just as I say that, he gets knocked down to third place, but an awesome qualifying run from the 27 machine. Matt Largan goes to the top of the boards with a 31.38. That man is hooked up here at Atlanta, and I tell you what, folks, he's going to be a tough one to beat. As Nick Fleury rounds out his qualifying run, able to improve his lap number 2 and go P number 3 as he just tags the wall there right after the lap. So luckily he does it after the lap and not during, as we see the 951 of Brian Wilderson getting up to speed here. We'll see where Brian can go. As lap number 1, he will go P number 8, but this will be the money lap here, folks. We'll see where he can go. As he comes through turns 3 and 4 for the final time here in qualifying, gets that car pretty close to the white line. This should be pretty good if he can get a decent run off, fighting the car a little bit, but Brian Wilderson should improve his lap. We'll see where he can go on the timing scoring. He goes 5th as they run. Ron Hart on his first time lap here in the 051 machine. We'll see where he can slot on in. So far, 11 drivers taking a lap time here of the 16 that have showed up. As we are getting close to the end of qualifying here, Ron Hart will just get lap number 1 in, but probably not a second lap, as Ron Hart goes P number 7, lap number 1, and that's all he'll have time to do. So, Matt Largan, fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying. We'll see if he can get it done one more time in the race, or we'll see if someone else can give him a little chase. As we get ready to walk through tonight's starting grid. Starting on the pole, we said it, we saw it. Matt Largan in the 4 car will start on the pole and get the quick time award here for playoff race number 2. Dan Parmley in the 710 will be starting to his outside on the front row. Row number 2 will be made up of Nick Fleury in the 25 machine, and Tommy Haynes in the 17 will be starting to the outside of row number 2. Row number 3 will be Brian Wilderson in the 951, and Lee Campbell in the 27 machine will be rounding out row number 3.
And then to pick up from there, in row 4, it's the 051 machine of Ron Hart. On his outside, it would be the 56 car of John Wimbish. In row number 5, it is the 43 machine of Eric Papineau, and then the other Eric Lake, to his outside. In row 6, it's Dave Payton and Jerry Cochran Jr. to his outside. And then row 7, Tanner Tallarico, well, he's not out here, but Kyle Munson and Jerry Cochran then. And then to round out your last row, it is the 2 car of John DeMeester, and to his outside, the 86 of John Sanu.
Yeah, Carson, so a little bit of a blue division battle for the last row between John DeMeester and John Sinu. Both drivers did not take a lap, but both of them the only cars in the blue division here tonight, so we will have to keep an eye on that as these drivers got their engines fired and getting ready to roll here. Carson, I am pumped up for race number 2 of the playoffs. How are you?
I am pumped up as well, Brad. And this could, looking at the field and the standings, in the playoff standings, I mean, this could shake them up. We got playoff drivers who we don't see tonight or in different spots. We'll have to see what this does.
Yeah, Carson, and a lot of playoff drivers missing tonight's race. We have one missing from the red division. That would be Austin Nielsen, who is 3rd in the points right now. And in the blue division, we have a lot missing. We have Nathan Henry, Jeff O'Quinn, Justin Callahan, all the top 3 guys in the blue division not out here tonight. So that's going to shake up points big time after this. And then a little bit of struggles from the red division cars, except for Dan Parmley, who puts that thing on outside pole.
Yeah, Brett. He could just widen his lead if he can keep it clean here tonight. We'll have to see. We'll have to see, though, if these drivers who are starting toward the back can make a run. We got some real strong competitors in the red division starting in the middle of the field who could push real hard and make a push and get to the front, excuse me.
Yep, the lights are off on the pace car. That means they'll be coming in on pit road this time. Then we'll hand the restart over to our pole sitter, Matt Largan, in the 4 machine. We'll get ready to go racing for playoff race number 2. We'll wait on the 4 car here. And we fire on off, Carson. We are green flag racing for playoff race number 2 here at Hotlanta. The field gets away here clean. Nick Fleury with a slight advantage over Dan Parmley for second here. They will make it down the backstretch here. A little side-by-side action further on through the field. Nick Fleury able to complete the pass. Eric Papineau wasted no time. He's trying to get through the front as quickly as that 43 car can.
And Brad, this is what I was expecting to see. Some of these strong red division drivers who are starting near the middle of the pack, pushing hard here to try to get to the front. They know that they got to try to get to Dan Parmley as quick as they can.
Yeah, they do. They know that they at least have to beat him here tonight with him being able to extend that points lead, get the maximum amount of points that he could last weekend. So they got to all push hard here, and especially for lap number 25. That is the competition caution, and it awards some stage points to the top 5. So these drivers at least got to be in the top 5 if they want some points. As we see these drivers still side by side. Eric Papineau now trying to make a move on Tommy Haynes. Not quite able to do it. He'll slot on in. Looks like most of the cars now single filed out for the most part here. As I say that, Eric Lake making a move on Dave Payton in contact. Dave Payton goes around. Oh, one car up and over. Big time contact and more involved. Oh,
That looked like
man,
a bad one,
Carson.
Brett. That looked like a bad one. Hopefully everyone's all right down there. Hopefully the safety crew can get down there and check on those drivers.
Yeah, that was some heavy impact and some drivers involved that we're talking about starting further off in the back. That being Dave Payne and Kyle Munson gets a good piece of it afterwards. We will take a look and see what happened here on the front stretch. As, oh man, some three wide action and drivers misjudging it a little bit. And Jerry Cochran goes up and over into turn number 1. You see Kyle Munson get into the wall hard thereafter. And oh man, Carson, John DeMeester with some awesome wreck avoidance. I think we got to take a look at this Blue Deuce here and see what he was seeing. We'll ride on board with John DeMeester and see the wreck unfolding in front of him and see this wreck avoidance. As he sees one car sliding up top, then down low, then another car down low, and he drives on through it. Keeps that car clean, Carson, but some damage now to the 38, 28. Looks like John Sanu also down on pit road as well.
Well, Brett, I think it's been a while since we saw a rollover like that here in the ASRC Sportsman Series.
Yeah, we haven't seen one up and over in a minute, so I believe we've heard the 81 machine is in the infield care center. Was responding, did get out under his own power, so that is great news to hear. People always think these miles and a half, the speed's a little deceiving. These guys are going about 170 into these corners, so that was some big time contact just before when you lift to go into that corner. As Carson, this race starts off eventful. We still got the stage caution and then another restart, at least one more guaranteed, but we'll have to see how these boys keep on racing here as this race goes on.
Yeah, Brett. So far, we've already seen some, I'd say, aggressive moves having consequences, so we'll have to see if the aggression stays up and see if we have any more incidents.
Yeah, we will have to see because, oh man, heavy contact for some drivers.
But hey, Brett, this is what the playoffs are all about. The intensity's up and it's just bound to lead to more drama.
Yep, that is very true, Carson. They all know it's go time. You got to make the moves, see if they stick, because every point matters, especially in the playoffs. As this time by, we should see the lights get extinguished on the iRacing pace car. We'll wait and see here. And that they do, so we get the 1 to go sign here at the start finish line. We'll be going back racing next time by. As Carson, we saw Dan Parmley lose the spot to Nick Fleury on the start. We will have to see if Dan can regain that spot with starting on this inside now.
Hey, Brad, who's out there in the pace car tonight if Nick's not out there?
Yeah, I've been trying to think that. I think it's old Tim Rogers, not up here in the booth. And I think he switched spots with Nick Fleury in that 25 machine. I think we got old Timmy Rogers out there in the iRacing pace car here. As we'll
Yeah,
see.
I thought I saw a little Rogers car sticker on there.
Yeah, as that's a Rogers car's design there, a specialty. As Matt Largan jumps on the loud pedal, we're back racing. Ron Hart almost makes it 3 wide there, Carson. I thought they were going to go for it and not slow down the pace as we saw earlier in this run. As we see side-by-side battle for a second. Now Dan Parmley on the inside line, trying to make it stick behind Nick Fleury. Nick Fleury with a little bit of run down the backstretch. Ron Hart just looking for any sort of opening here as we ride on board with the 051 machine, keeping that 710 machine pinched down low. As Nick Fleury able to clear, now trying to bring along Ron Hart to 3rd place. So right now, Carson, the top 3 all non-playoff drivers. The top 6 only has 1 playoff driver, and that's a 710 machine of Dan Parmley. You think Dan's maybe racing a little bit careful out here, knowing that he's not battling any of these guys for playoff points?
Yeah, bro, I would think so. I was just saying how most of the field looks aggressive, but I think that's one driver in the field tonight who is looking to be conservative. He's probably going to push to get the best finish he can, but everything he can do to not wreck here tonight. He knows he needs to finish this race. Even if it's not a win, he needs a good finish.
Yep, that is the case. As we see new race leader Ron Hart power move on the top side. That 051 machine not saving any sort of tires. But I don't blame him. You do have a stage caution coming here in 13 laps. But even in those 13 laps, Carson, a lot of tire wear can happen. As we already see guys jumping to the top side. We usually don't see this working in too early, but already drivers jumping to the top side here as Atlanta is, Carson, another dynamic track.
You gotta love the dynamic tracks, Brent. You always bring out so many different race lines and strategies, different tire wear, different gas, fuel pit stop strategies. It's a lot of fun. We got Ron Hart in the wall.
Oh man, race leader Ron Hart in the wall here. Pushed it a little bit too hard. We'll have some right side damage here, so that's the one problem with running that top lane, especially at this bumpy track, is if it gets away from you, if you push too hard, Carson, that thing will get the wall, and then, of course, with the aero damage in these Xfinity cars, will slow you on down. But that's not stopping the 051 machine. He goes right back up to the top. As the different lines we'll see here tonight, folks, 1 and 2, will you see drivers up top against the fence, 2 car lengths down from that, running kind of a more conservative line, or at the bottom. Whereas 3 and 4, we'll see cars spread out throughout the whole corner, trying to get some clean air on their nose. So it'll be awesome to see, like you said, Carson, the different strategies, especially after this stage caution. Almost contact there with Ron Hart to the wall, and then almost to the 710 machine of Dan Parmley. Ron Hart trying to drive it on it in there from the top side. Now battle for second as well. Brian Wilderson trying to make a move on Nick Fleury.
And Brad, how much are fuel stops and fuel strategy going to come in play here tonight? Are we going to see guys trying to push it without stopping?
I think we'll see some people try and do it, but I think the ultimate will be tires, as we'll see the pace fall off so much here that I think you'll have to come in, if you want to be competitive, to take the tires. As Dan Parmley still not able to get around Ron Hart. Now Eric Papanow will try and make a move. This is for 5th. This is for a playoff point here in a few laps. So these guys going for every point they can. Also, they are teammates, so we'll have to keep that in our mind as well. Because these two do have a little bit of a points buffer over 3rd, 4th, and 5th in the red division. But if an incident happens between the two, you know, that could blow the championship wide open.
Yeah, bro. I wonder if there's a little bit of nerves going on for Dan Parmalee right now. He's dropped back a bit here tonight and hasn't looked as fast as we've seen him in previous races.
Yeah, but we know how good the 710 machine is at tire saving. You think he'd be pushing a little bit more knowing that the stage caution is coming here, but maybe he's just getting himself ready for this long run, setting the pace that he feels comfortable at, and making sure that he can hit it again for when it really counts, the end of the race. As he once again tries to make a move on Ron Hart, the 051 machine will have the run down the backstretch from the high line. Further on back, Dave Payne in the 38 K9 machine trying to make a move on the 56 machine. Looking high, trying to get a run here. He'll try and make a move down the front stretch. He will think better of it and back on out. Back up at the 4th, 5th, and 6th position. Dan Parmalee trying again to get around the 051 machine. You already see Ron Hart starting to lose some grip a little bit in that car. We saw how hard he was pushing it, especially with that contact with the wall. That handling on that Toyota Supra going away in a hurry. But the driver's a wheelman, you know, he's still making some decent laps even with that ill-handling car. As Eric Papinow almost goes 3 wide, thinks better of it, has to lift, and you see how much time you have to lose just by breathing the throttle on corner exit.
I'd say Ron Hartbrett is kind of like the Kyle Larson of ASRC Sportsman Series. He can hit the wall a few times and still have that thing moving.
Yeah, and he's always sideways, so he comes in these races just like the rest of the boys, you know, with the mindset of, hey, let's out have some fun, race against some good competitors that are clean, and see what I can do with this car. As we don't see Ron Hart, you know, he doesn't enjoy these NASCAR style cars too much, but he knows the competition's good here and can usually have a little bit of fun with it.
Hey, we have fun watching him, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, that 051 machine always puts on a show. As I love to say, Carson, it's never a bad day for a race day. And all I just heard over the radio, Carson, the 4 car got in the wall off of turn number 2. We'll have to keep an eye on the race leader, see if he's got any right side damage. The car looks fairly clean, but Nick Fleury has closed in on the gap in a hurry.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Matt Largan will be able to hold off Nick for just long enough to get the stage break caution.
Yeah, further on back, we got Dave Payne trying to make a move on Lee Campbell. Doesn't quite have the run, so he was side by side with him, but not able to make it stick. So we're already seeing here early, very tough to pass. As the completion of this lap, Carson, we will see the stage caution, as we'll keep an eye on the last point awarded here, as it looks like Largan able to hold off Nick Fleury for the stage win. But we'll keep our eye further on back here. See who gets the last playoff points. As Ron Hart will drive it in there deep, go all the way up to the top side. Dan Parmalee all the way down low. It's going to be a drag race for 4th, but Ron Hart able to defend it. Dan Parmalee gets a stage playoff point. Eric Papinow will miss out on some playoff stage points as we go under yellow flag for the second time here tonight. Matt Largan wins stage. As these drivers will come on in here, Carson, get 4 fresh Goodyear tires filled up with Sunoco race fuel and get ready for the long stint.
I think, Brett, there's going to be a few drivers with some right side damage to repair as well. We saw some guys in the wall.
Yep. And the question is, do they take it? I say you got to take it and stay on pit road that extra little bit to try and patch it on up, at least get it sealed on up. But you know you lose a little positions. But it's better to do it now than during a green flag pit stop. As we will see the field head down pit road being led by the 4 car. And I don't think we'll see any gamblers stay on out and not come down pit road here, as we see the whole field make their way down pit road. Oh, a little bit of a strategy, Carson. Matt Largan. I don't know if he took any tires.
Yeah, Brett, that was awfully fast. I don't know. You might have to check with race control or someone, try to figure out what happened.
Yeah, as for sure he only took 2, if not any. So we will have to see and take a look there, as he does win the race off of pit road by a huge margin, but with a very a different. And yeah, Carson, we're getting the confirmation. Largan only took right side tires there, so we will have to see how this plays out for our leader, as the rest of the field behind him will be on 4 fresh, Carson. I don't know if I like that call. Oh, we see him called back in here. Maybe they had a little bit of miscommunication, dropped the jack and went off too early. We see our leader coming back down pit road.
Yeah, Brett, it does seem like driver is communicating that there was a mistake made there. It was supposed to be a 4-tire stop, and they only got 2.
That is a bummer. So the driver that has led every lap up until, has led the most laps up until this point, back down pit road. He'll have to make his way through the field. And Carson, that hands the race lead over to Nick Fleur. He's used to seeing the front of this field in the pace car, but now he's out there in the front of the field in his 25 machine.
Yeah, now he's actually pacing the field in his race car.
Yeah, you love to see it. Now Brian Wilderson will move up to second, Dan Parmley third, Eric Pappin out fourth, and John Wimbish in the 56 machine will round out our top 5 for this restart.
Well, Brett, we were talking about strategies here at this dynamic track of Atlanta, and how about accidental strategies? Because that was bad luck there for Matthew Largan.
Yeah, that is a bummer of a incident there to be marred back all the way last car in line here.
And that shows just, Brett, how racing's a team effort, and the little details are sometimes the vital ones that'll get you in trouble and the most important. So that's just a bad break there.
Yep, luckily Matt Largan not in the playoffs, but you hate to see it for any driver being up there, as the lights are extinguished on the iRacing pace car. This time by Tim Rogers will bring it down pit road, and we'll be back going green flag racing. And Carson, this is where we'll see the true strategy. We'll see who goes, who saves, and when they start jumping to the top side. We will wait now for the iRacing pace car to head down pit road, and then they'll hand over the restart to the 25 machine of Nick Fleury. The pace car is on in. Now we wait for Nick to fire on off. He fires on off early, gets a great restart. Brian Wilderson will be marred back to third, maybe even fourth, as that top side bottles on up. Dave Payne will jump down low. Oh, contact. Lee Campbell gets shot down, I think, with contact from Ron Hart.
That was a bit of a wild restart there, Brett. It sent a couple guys out of the loop.
Yeah, that was maybe Wilderson's restarted in fourth gear. Not sure what happened, as he was very slow on that start. That will mar back the 951, the 43, and the 38 K&M machine. Dan Parmalee trying to reel down Nick Fleury now as the field single files out, except Eric Papanow trying to make a move on the 951 machine. As, big time sideways from our third place driver, John Wimbish. Gets sideways off of turn number 4. That almost opens up the door for Brian Wilderson. The 951 will look to the outside of the 56 machine. Not what the 56 machine wants to see, as if he's already loose. He's not. Wilderson will do the crossover. He'll go to the inside. This is the battle for third on track. Brian trying to make this inside work. Got that car to his outside. Very tough to pass here, Carson, because these cars are always on the edge with this low grip here at this track. You pretty much need to either make a move at a very beginning of a run when you're on fresh tires and can make a little bit of a heroic move, or else you got to wait till the end of a run when the guy in front of you really burns off his tires. As Carson, John Wimbish pushing hard. He's to the inside of Dan Parmalee. John is not saving any sort of tires right now. He's trying to maybe even take the race lead here on lap number 35. As John Wimbish once again sideways off of turn number 4, but carries a halfway decent run down the front stretch. We'll be side by side with our current points leader, Dan Parmalee, up top. As we ride on board with John Wimbish here. Yerm working that throttle, trying to get on as soon as he can without pushing. Now he's got Brian Wilderson once again to his top side. This is now the battle for third place on track. As Dan Parmalee trying to go a different line than Nick Fleury, trying to get some fresh air on the nose of that race car. Brian Wilderson will once again try the crossover move. He goes to the inside of the 56 machine. These guys, especially third and fourth, Carson, here, racing hard. You got to wonder how it's affecting these tires on these race cars.
Well, Brett, I know that crossing over and changing your line a bunch is going to wear your tires out pretty fast.
Yeah, now we see Wilderson under fire from Eric Papanow. We'll see if the 951 machine can reel back in this top 3. I assume he will, but we'll have to use a little bit of the tires to get back on up there. Still some more. As we look a little bit further back, Matt Largan up into 9th place if he can complete this pass on John Sanu. So Largan trying to make his way slowly through this field in that 4 car. John Sanu also our blue division leader as they run right now. back up at the front, still nose to tail for the top 5. Ron Hart trying to join in on the battle as well as he's slowly reeling in this 5-car breakaway. As we see Dan Parmley running a little bit lower line through 1 and 2. Then Nick Fleury just trying to keep fresh air, clean air on the nose of that race car. Nick Fleury just trying to set the pace where he feels comfortable. But he can't be too slow. Then that'll open the door for him to get past. But he can't push it too hard and blow off those tires. Luckily, he's always in clean air, so that'll help the wear of those front tires. As what happened to Ron Hart fell back a ton. Not sure what happened to the 051 machine. But now under fire from group number 2 as Dave Payton tries to complete the pass. Tommy Haynes trying to maybe make a move. Matt Largan also in the mix. Got around this, trying to get around the 17 machine here. Oh, John Wimbish gets big time loose off of turn number 2. That will open the door for Brian Wilderson. He's able to complete the pass on the top side. Now Eric Papanow will try and do the same as Dan Parmley starts to think about making a move. You might think it's go time here to try and take the race lead if he can. Dan Parmley has closed up on the race lead ever so slightly. Now consistently within 3 car lengths, usually right around the 2 car length mark. So Dan Parmley making Nick Fleury probably push a little bit more than he wants to now.
And Brett will have to see what time Dan Parmley decides to make his move here.
Yeah, because now he has a little bit of time. He has a little bit of a gap to 3rd place, so he can afford to make a move, let's say, see if it works, and have no one, let's say, hang him out to drive, stick him in a lane and drive on around the 710 machine. So this may be the time for him to make a move if he can. As I think a little bit of trouble for the 17 machine, Tommy Haynes, I think had some big time contact. He was running with the 38 K&M machine of Dave Payne, and oh man, got the outside wall big time. Just barely missed Dave Payne and John Sinu, but some heavy right side contact. And Carson, is the 38 K&M machine missing its nose? I think it is. When did that happen?
Yeah, Brad, that's interesting now. I don't know when that happened either.
Yeah, it must have been out there on track in an incident that the 38 machine lost its bumper cover. I'm surprised we don't get a debris caution, as up front it still stays the same, but that's got to be hurting the 38's performance big time. No nose cover, no front end downforce. Whew. He's still hanging on to 8th as we see Dan Parmley trying to make a move here. Eric Papanow did get around Brian Wilderson for 3rd, so these front 2 have checked out to about a 2nd gap over 3rd place. So these guys may be trying to stay out in front of the gap, not give them any sort of draft, and maybe force a battle between themselves. Of the 16 cars that started tonight, Carson, only 12 of them still out on track. So this Atlanta, we knew it was going to be a tough one to come into, but wow, a quarter of the field not running by halfway. And I bet over half the field, Carson, has some sort of body damage.
Yeah, Brent. Even though we had drivers go in and get it repaired for the stage break there, I'm sure some drivers have got it right back.
Yeah, I got it right back, or even worse, as we see the 38 machine of Dave Payne falling in the wrong direction. That car, of course, not at the speed it should be with that missing nose cover. This time by for Nick Fleury. He will see cross flags from the flagman. Halfway home, halfway to go. As I was able to tune in there, Carson, a little bit to the 38 communication, and he said he just barely tapped Tommy Haynes, and with that contact, it ripped off the bumper cover. He just got quoted as this car is a J-O-K-E joke, as Kurt Busch would say.
That Brett is no bueno.
That is a big no bueno from the 38 camp, and I don't blame him, Carson. You know, these cars are supposed to be pretty robust, but a tiny bit of contact and rips off the whole bumper cover and no yellow flag. That is a tough break, as we see Matt Largan powering his way inside the top 5 here. He's trying to get 4th from Wilderson and maybe set his sights on Eric Papanow.
I'm impressed, Brett. He's been able to pick up so many spots and be so much faster than these guys during this whole green flag run here. I'm sure, I assume he's doing a really good job saving his tires as well as being fast.
Yeah, because he was way far back. We saw him really taking his time. And yeah, like you said, Carson, his pace was very slow compared to the leaders at the start. But as we said, probably managed those tires beautifully. And now he is charging through this field like no other.
You can tell with the speed he's got now that he was the leader early in the race. I assume we'll see him at least challenge for the podium here. I don't know if he'll be able to get back to those front 2 guys, but we'll have to see. He's looking real fast.
Yeah, he's going to have to play his pit strategy perfect to undercut these leaders and try and get an advantage and try and see if he can make a run at them. As Eric Papanow big time loose. This could open the door here for Largan and or Wilderson, as they almost go 3 wide into turn number 1. Wilderson will slide in behind Largan. Now Largan will set his sights on Eric Papanow for 3rd place.
Man, a big run there for Largan.
Yeah, he's already door to door by the time they enter the corner. That 4 car is hooked up. He's going to push up a little, trying to run that bottom, but he can put down the power even a little bit better than the 43 car on the top side. So that 4 car will just have to hit his marks here, not get too frustrated, and try and see if he can make a move happen. He's going to go to the top, Carson, once again, and get a big time run down this backstretch. He's trying to see what he can do all the way at the top of the track, Carson, right against the wall. You know, that's a little bit tough on the tires, but now with this late in a run, you know, it doesn't matter how much you abuse the tires, you know, they're going to be going no matter what.
Man.
As he gets a nose to the top side of Papanow, that's going to be the move that's going to be able to let him get by.
Those are some big kahunas moves there, Brad. He just passed both those guys, both Papanow and and Wilderson, excuse me, on the outside.
Yeah, so now Papanow will probably keep that in the back of his mind. Will be blocking this top side if he can. But yeah, Largan, a man on the mission here as he able to clear both these guys as Papanow almost gets in the wall. He has to pedal it, but able enough to pull out in front the 951. A little bit further back, Jerry Cochran Jr. trying his best to get around Ron Hart. This is the battle for
Whoa!
8th on track.
So Eric Papanow got really loose and almost sent Wilderson through the grass. Great driving by both those guys to avoid an accident.
Yeah, that was a wild pass. We'll take a look at it here and see how loose the 43 machine. It got loose at a weird time, Carson, through that tri-oval. These tires are starting to go bad, as even in the tri-oval with a little bit of wheel, you can get some tire spin now. So these drivers will have to be very cautious on this whole racetrack now, because you can now lose it in the tri-oval, and I know I've done that a handful of times here at Atlanta.
And Brett, we're seeing guys sliding around like this, and there's still 40 to go.
Exactly. These guys, there's got to be some people that short pit this yellow, as we're about 30 laps into it, so you know we're almost halfway. As I bet there's got to be some people that short pit as soon as the fuel window open. I sadly did not get a fuel reading, so I don't know when the fuel window is open. It's got to be sometime close to here, as if you want to make a run at the lead, I think you got to short pit and try and undercut the leaders here, because right now these lap times are way off the pace of qualifying times. We saw some 31 4s and whatnot. We'll check out some lap history from Largan. We're seeing them in the 33 4s, Carson, so a whole 2-second fall off as this run goes on. But we see Largan faster every single lap than Dan Parmley, so Largan closing in on the leaders, but I don't think it'll be enough time. Oh, excuse me, I think it's the other way around. I think Parmley just barely faster, so Largan, even though going through this field, still has fairly decent pace compared to the leaders, but just not catching them.
Yeah, Brian, you'd think that'd have to all come down to tires. I'm sure Largan's tires, from passing so many cars, are a bit more worn out than Dan Parmley's and Nick Fleury's there up at the front.
Yeah, because they've had a lot cleaner air, like we said. Like you said, Carson, didn't have to battle anyone, didn't have to come through this whole field and pass 10 cars like Largan did, so it makes sense. But still some awesome pace as he is driving away from 4th and 5th of Wilderson and Papanow. These two still trying to go at it here.
I mean, he was making some incredible moves. You have to give him props. He's making some incredible moves there through the field on those tires.
He was going where no one else would and making it stick. So props to that 4-car as we see a battle for 6th place brewing on up. Our blue division leader, John Sinu, trying to make a move on John Wimbish here. 4-6, and he's going to have the top side. That's going to probably give the position to the 86 machine as they go down the backstretch.
And John Sinu is having a heck of a night so far here, Brad. I think he's up more than 10 spots. That is super impressive. We usually don't see someone move that much during a race.
Yeah, biggest mover of the race is the 86 machine, leading the blue division. You know he's going to have some great points here for the division. He might take the points lead, Carson, as he needs to keep the race on up. And Carson, I just heard the 25 machine down pit road this time. Dan Parmley will stay on out, so Nick Fleury coming down pit road early, making sure no one can undercut him as he gets down to pit road speed. Brian Wilderson will try and make it down as well, and man, that was close on the mile per hour for Wilderson. And it looks like the Blue Deuce of John DeMeester also down pit road as well, as we will have to bet either Dan Parmley really tries to run it out or he comes down this lap. This will be the telltale sign. See if the... I
was going to say, I'm hearing over the radio, 710's coming in.
Yep, Dan Parmley down pit road this time. Same with the 4 of Largan. Largan drove it in there deep, Carson. He gained a ton of time on Parmley driving it in there like that. As Eric Papanow stays out on track, he will get a bonus point. He'll lead a lap as we see Nick Fleury just going a lap down here. As John Sanu also still out on track here, trying to get around the 25 machine. I assume Eric Papanow, he always loves some wild strategy, Carson. I think he's going to stay out there as long as he can because we usually see him short pit by a lot. Now he'll maybe do the opposite and really try and extend his run as we see Nick Fleury unlap himself the hard way. And we see how those new tires just drive around those cars. As we see, there's the race for the lead. Nick Fleury a few car lengths in front of Eric Papanow. And once again, Dan Parmley will have to battle Papanow to get his lap back and use up a little bit of those new tires. As we see the 43 of Papanow coming down pit road here. John Sanu will also do the same. Same with the 82. Looks like they all make it down safely. And that will leave 2 more cars out on track that have not pitted. The 051 of Ron Hart and the damaged K&M machine of Dave Payton.
I hope we get Dave to lead some laps here without a nose. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see if Ron Hart comes in this time or Dave Payton. Dave Payton gets stuck on the top side, so looks like that K&M machine will try and run it out as long as he can. Ron Hart's still staying out there as well. As we do have 30 laps to go here. We see Eric Papanow rolling out of pit roads here. Just comes out in line with our race leader. So Papanow will be able to drive on around Ron Hart like he stands still. And oh, Carson, Eric Papanow back down pit road. I think he might have got a penalty.
Yeah, something there must have happened, Brett. First we saw someone have trouble with the tires and getting the wrong amount of tires on the car. Now we might have a penalty here tonight. We're seeing all sorts of pit road mayhem, Brett. It's the playoffs. We got things going crazy.
Yep, and that would be a bummer for Eric Papanow because Dan Parmley is our points leader. And yep, Eric Papanow with a penalty, so that's going to hurt his playoff run a lot. As we get Dave Payton to the lead here, Carson. He's going to try and get some points, get the lead with this damaged race car. These two going at it on old tires.
Man, Brett, I've never seen a car without a nose on it like that. Battling for the lead. That's awesome.
Yeah, the 3 wide down the backstretch here as John Sanu tries to get on around. Oh, a little bit of contact here.
Oh, no.
These guys somehow make it. You see these guys really battling their race cars. And holy smokes, I don't know how they didn't crash. Also, apparently John DeMeester might have had an incident. We'll go back and see what happened to the Blue Deuce. As Dave Payton was able to lead a lap, he gets a bonus point as we see what happened to John DeMeester. Just got loose off of turn number 2, smacked the inside wall, spun, but off the racing surface. So he will not bring out a yellow. As Dave Payton, Carson, out here leading the race with no nose. Can you believe it?
Man, Brett, I see Ron Hart behind him sliding around. Both these guys are having quite the drive here.
Yeah, now they're just hoping for a yellow. They're hoping that someone bites the bullet, someone makes a mistake. They're hoping for that John DeMeester that we saw the replay there, but him spinning on the track rather than off the track. As Eric Papanow back there out on track, but in the 12th position, so not what he wants to see. Nick Fleury, though, under heavy pressure from Dan Parmley. He is all over the back bumper. Then Largan, only a second back from these two. So if these two start battling, Carson, that will open up the door for Largan as we see our race leader, Dave Payton, down pit road. Last time by, Largan was the fastest car on track, so he is reeling in these leaders here, Carson. We could have a three-way battle before this race is over. As we see this time by, 25 laps to go. 3/4 of the way down, a quarter of the race left here at Hotlanta. You see Dave Payne getting up to speed here. They still didn't get a nose cover on the car, so he's still out there with no nose. As Ron Hart still has not pitted yet, but these leaders are catching him within 6 seconds already.
And Brad, if Ron Hart decides not to pit here, these leaders I think I'm going to have some difficulty getting around him for the lead, because he's sliding around like he's on dirt out there. If you've been watching him some of these laps, he gets pretty sideways. It'd scare me a little if I was trying to pass him.
Yeah, as we go to the race leader, and yeah, he is slip sliding every time he tries to get on that throttle. That right rear definitely worn on out. And this track's weird, Carson. It'll wear out your left rear, and it won't even drive straight down the straightaways too. So Ron Hart has to be very careful trying to put this power down, as he is very slow compared to these guys on new tires. And oh man, Largan, Carson, he's caught the leaders. He's there.
Man, Brad, how about this recovery from Matt Largan here tonight? Talk about rebounding and not giving up. He could still have a chance to turn this race around and win this thing.
Yeah, he is right there. Trying to make a move on Dan Parmley for second once Ron Hart does pit. Ron Hart, here's the battle for the race lead. Ron Hart will move up out of the way on those old tires. These guys will get on around cleanly. And now I assume the 051 machine will be headed in on pit road this time by. He did not get the yellow flag he hoped for. He's big time sideways through 3 and 4, Carson, drifting it, smoking the right rear. That man is hanging on for dear life in that race car.
I think, Brad, he's having fun with this thing.
Oh, I bet he is. Even though, might not be fast, it's fun to drive and it's cool to look at, just like drift cars.
Man, he's getting real sideways now. I'm impressed. Look at him. I'm impressed, though. He's keeping it straight.
Yeah, this time by very slow down the backstretch. I think that right rear might be actually blown on that race car. You can't have blown tires and that thing's behaving like it's blown. You see it really wiggling around, and man, I don't know how he's still on track. I don't know how that thing's still driving, because that right rear's got to be down to the cords.
Brett, I don't think we've seen this situation at ASRC before, but can you have tire failure if your tire wear goes to 0%?
Yes, you can, Carson. It'll act like it's completely flat, and if it's a right front, you'll go straight into the wall. If it's a right rear, that car would just snap around on your throttle or not. And I'm surprised it hasn't blown for the 051 machine. As this time by, he brings it down pit road to put on some new shoes on that thing.
Talk about some tires begging for mercy there.
Yeah. We'll have to ask him after the race. Sadly, not in a podium spot, so we can't ask him on the broadcast. But I am very curious to see what percentage that right rear got down to at the end.
Hey, that was a lot of fun to watch, though. Thank you, Ron, for doing that.
As I hear a little bit from Ron Hart, his right rear was 310 degrees, Carson.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so the pit crew able to tire temp the tire after it, and we got the update. 310 degrees. That right rear smoking hot. But he said it didn't blow, so I'm impressed. These Goodyears hanging on for dear life. Was not down all the way, but man, it had to be close. As Carson, Nick Fleury still holding off Dan Parmley as we are inside 20 laps to go. Matt Largan kind of falling off. He might have used up his stuff too much trying to reel him on in, Carson.
Yeah,
always,
I'm really impressed with Nick and how he's still able to hold off Dan. He's just holding him at bay, but Dan just can't seem to get enough of a run to get next to him.
Yeah, as Nick Fleury got a little bit loose off of turn number 2, but still kept his momentum. I think as long as Nick Fleury does not let that 710 machine, to his top side, I don't think there's a way to get around Nick Fleury, especially with these tires wearing now.
Yeah, Brett, I agree. As long as he doesn't let him get next to him, I think this is Nick's race. If he can keep it off the wall, too.
As we get close to the end of the race here, what do you say we give ourselves a little bit of a break and we do a little turn 3, turn it up?
I say, Brett, let's turn it up. Let's hear what these beasts sound like.
Alrighty, we'll be back here in a few. Alrighty, Carson, we are back with 11 laps to go here. Nick Fleury still hanging on to the race lead, but Dan Parmley applying the pressure. Matthew Largan falling off on the pace. Used up his stuff to get on up there, but now hoping for a yellow. Dave Payton trying to reel in Lee Campbell for 8th place. He's slowly catching him. Should be able to get there before the end of the race. Dave Payne now within 0.2 of a second on way newer tires than Lee Campbell, about 10 laps. So the 38 machine, even with the damage, should be able to drive around him. As Dave Payne able to complete the pass. The next closest battle is for the race lead here, as we are single digits to go, Carson.
And Brett, the question will be, will Nick make enough of a mistake to open the door just enough to let Dan Parmley get to his inside or outside to make a move on him?
Yeah, that would be tough. As a 25 car, I know from first-hand experience, he knows how to make that thing wide. He is a very tough competitor to make a pass on. So Dan Parmley will have his hands full to even try and get around him, because Nick, he'll give you a car length of room, nothing more, nothing less. He will make you work for that position to try and get around him. as most of this field spread on out, as set for the battle for this race lead. These two have been glued to each other this whole race, but not able to get away from each other as well. As Carson, I think Ron Hart also had a penalty down pit road. He had to come down twice, so a bummer for... Oh, just kidding. That was his total pit stop time versus his time spent in the box. As Dan Parmley, Carson, I think he gets off turn 4 a little bit better than Nick Fleury, but Nick Fleury able to get off of turn number 2 better. So these guys kind of even each other out for the most part through this track.
Yeah, Brett, I'm watching the times here, and Dan is barely gaining, but I don't think, unless Nick makes a big mistake, I don't think it'll be enough to quite get to him. We'll have to see.
Yeah, and I couldn't see Dan Parmley making a move where he sends it on the last lap, especially with the playoff battle in his mind. So I think Dan will try and just keep the pressure on, see if he can force a mistake, but I don't think we'll see any crazy moves out of him. As that time by, we see an open palm from the flagman. 5 laps to go.
Brett, I noticed there Nick got pretty dang loose in turn 4, and Dan gained a good bit of ground. We'll have to see. Maybe there's still a chance for Dan here.
Yeah, Nick Fleury seems to for sure be struggling with 3 and 4. Dan Palmy hitting that corner a lot better, whereas Nick Fleury's a lot stronger in 1 and 2. And yeah, each time off of turn 4, we see that 25 get a little bit sideways, but still be able to carry a good amount of momentum, and that's going to be the key. As long as that car is still driving forward, even if it's sideways, it's still going. As Brian Wilderson, big time sideways off a turn, Matt Largan, big time sideways off of turn number 2. He smoked him all the way off of 2. Had to save it, but kept it going in the right direction. We stayed green with 3 laps to go.
I was just saying, Brett, these guys are running so similar. You just can't separate these two. We haven't really seen guys like this who have just been so glued together every lap. This is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I was going to say we might have some lap traffic, but Lee Campbell doing an awesome gentlemanly move. Pulls way out of the way, way early. Gives these leaders a chance to duke it on out here. As we see popsicle sticks in the air. This time by Nick Fleury, loose again off of turn number 4. Yep. 2 laps to go.
Dan made a big jump there in gaining on Nick there and closing the gap.
And Matt Largan down pit road. He was off on the grass. I think he hit the wall. And Carson, I think he's out of the server. We go back up to the front. So that'll move Brian Wilderson into a podium position, and we might be talking to the 951 after the race, as Nick Fleury will see the white flag this time by. Dan Parmley will have 4 more corners to make a move. 1 more lap here for playoff race number 2.
Look out, John DeMeester.
Yeah, as we have the blue deuce right in front, we might have a little bit of lap traffic to deal with. John will move down to the inside, out of the way. Nick Fleury a little bit loose off of turn number 2. Looks like Dan Parmley will not have enough of a run, but Dan Parmley will look to the inside. Nick Fleury will go to the top. We'll see how they come off of turn number 2, but as long as Nick Fleury can kind of put down the power.
Nick's struggling a little.
It'll be a drag race to the line. Nick Fleury will just get it done by half a car length. Dan Parmley in a very close second. Brian Wilderson brings it off of turn number 4 to bring it home in third. 1 car spinning across the line. That's the 051 of Ron Hart crashing right at the start-finish line.
Man, bro, we saw some, most of the guys at the front here had pretty tame races, but some guys had some wild races here tonight. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, so we'll be talking to Nick Fleury, the race leader, Dan Parmley in second, Brian Wilderson in third, and our 4th place finisher, Carson, John Wimbish, wins the blue division. As Nick Fleury does the the professional thing and doesn't do any burnouts, so we won't see him burn it down because that's not what he does. But we will talk to him after the race here, as we will go and talk to these guys right after our commercial. We'll be right back.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Alrighty, we are back here at Atlanta. We will be talking to our Blue Division, John Wimbish. John, you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, Brett, I got you, bud.
Alrighty, man. How was this 56 car? It looks like it was pretty sporty here at Hotlanta.
It was a little sporty. It was a little sideways every once in a while. I'd give it a little too much throttle or too much wheel. It was pretty slick out there, so we had to be a little easier with it than I wanted to be. But all in all, it was a good race. I'm happy to wind up here in the top 5.
Yeah, heck of a run for you tonight. You're up 4 positions from where you started the race, so moving in the right direction, always a good thing to see out of the car. And yeah, it seemed like everyone was struggling with tire wear, both probably with the right front dying and then, of course, the right rear dying and getting a little slick out there. Was that the case?
Oh, it absolutely was. At the last pit stop there, my right front tire was at 45%, so we were really using it up. I think some of the guys that were behind me were doing a little bit better job. I noticed they were catching me, so that last run there, I went out and with the hope I could take care of the right front a little bit better.
Yeah, John. But I have to ask you, some crazy restarts here tonight. How'd you keep that 56 car clean? And was your mentality try and pass a few cars on some fresh tires, or was it sit back and try and save a little bit of tire?
Honestly, my mentality, with the restarts here, you got to be careful of tires and always. So I was just, trying to keep the car under me and get that thing going in the right direction, and then just run my race and try to get a good finish out of it and keep the tires on the thing. So every once in a while we slide around and had some hiccups there in the first half of the race, and then second half I got it together.
Yeah, you did, John. To pick up the Blue Division win and a 4th place top 5, always impressive. Love to see it for the 56 team. Before we let you go and celebrate the Blue Division win here at Hotlanta, I'll turn the mic over to you. I'm sure there's got to be a whole bunch of people you got to thank here tonight.
And I just want to thank my sponsors, AutosByNelson.com. Looking for a vehicle, they're here in Martinsville, Virginia, largest dealer in the southwest part of Virginia. Check them out. They ship a vehicle to you if you're looking for it. Got Cheerwine on the car. It's my favorite drink, so I always run their scheme. And I appreciate you and all the guys here at the league. We put on a hell of a show. I think did a pretty good job, and everybody kept it pretty clean tonight.
Yeah, they did, John. It was a heck of a show to watch here tonight. It was a blast to watch. Once again, can't wait to see the next playoff race. And, John, you have yourself a great rest of the night, and congrats once again on the Blue Division win.
10-4, thank you, Brett.
Alrighty, that was our 4th place finisher, but our Blue Division winner. Now we'll talk to our 3rd place finisher, Brian Wilderson. You got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth.
Hey, Brett, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good, Brian. I think you're a little quiet. I don't know if you can turn up your mic or get a little bit closer to it.
How's that, Brett?
A little bit better. We'll crank you on up. So, Brian, we'll crank you on up here. So, Brian, how was the car tonight? It seemed like it was a big struggle to get that traction. You and Eric Papinow seemed like you were battling all night long.
Yeah, there seemed to be quite a bit of battles all over the racetrack and green tires. And then once you got some heat in them, you really had to fall in line there on that top side, or you were going to get eaten up on the bottom.
Yeah, that seemed to be the case. But Eric Papinow sadly got that pit road penalty. That kind of knocked him out there. And Brian able to sneak in the top 3 with that podium with Largan kind of having some sort of issue there towards the end of the run. How tricky was this car to drive here once those tires really start wearing on in?
Yeah, there was definitely a few other guys there that were better at maintaining their tires in the long run, and Matthews one of them. I'm not sure what happened there to him at the end either, but he had a couple unfortunate events. There was early in the race, I think he had a penalty. He had to go to the back to back, so he was definitely one of the faster guys, and yeah, definitely snuck in there for a top 3.
Yeah, Brian, but that 951 had some great speed throughout the night. I tell you what, you definitely deserve to be in the top 5, and I think even the top 3. That thing had a lot of speed in her. Tell us a little bit about that pit road strategy. Were you planning on coming in on lap 65, or once you heard Nick Fleury, our leader, call it on out, was that like, all right, got to come in now?
Yeah, I was planning on 65 myself. I think it's just a coincidence. Everybody else is thinking same thing as splitting that last stage in half, and halfway was at 65. So, yeah, I think that was just a coincidence because we were all on the same strategy there. So.
Well, Brian, awesome job here tonight at a very tricky track of Atlanta, bringing on the podium, especially with the caliber of competitors out here. Before we let you go and celebrate the podium position, Brian, I'll hand over the mic to you. I'm sure there's got to be a lot of people you got to thank for this 951 machine on some asphalt now.
Yeah, I just want to thank the American Sim Racing Club for putting these on. Man, they do an excellent job here and enable us to have some fun each week.
Alrighty, well, awesome stuff from your Brian. Look forward to talking to you some more. Hopefully, we'll see you for the full season of next season, as I think we might be got some good stuff coming for season 3 of the Sportsman Series. So, Brian, you have yourself a great rest of the night, and I look forward to talking to you some more in the future.
Thanks, Brett.
Alrighty, folks, that was our 3rd place finisher, Brian Wilderson. Now we'll talk to our runner-up finisher. That would be the 710 machine of Dan Parmley and our points leader, Dan the man. D got a copy. It's Brett the Jet in the booth.
I got you, Brett. How you doing tonight? I'm actually a little bit tired over here at Nick's tire tracks that whole time.
Oh, I bet, Dan. That's what we'll talk about first. You and Nick never drove away from each other. You two were on top of each other that whole run. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I mean, I saw him come into the pits first, and I wanted to try to get that bonus point and, see if maybe that would bait Eric to come into the pits. But I think he stayed out and got the bonus point for leading the lap. But once I saw Nick go by as I was coming out of the pits, I didn't think I had any chance of catching him, but I don't know if he was just saving a little bit to make sure he could stay out front. But once I caught him, I mean, we were talking about it. If you're not running the outside, you just can't get by anyone. If you tried to get down to the inside, you just couldn't get the run off if you got side by side. I mean, I thought I was going to be mired back the whole day, that first stage. I just got stuck back in 5th and couldn't get anywhere. Yeah,
Dan, we'll start the next topic by just talking about that. At the beginning of the race, were you saving some tires, or was everyone around you just pushing that hard?
It didn't even seem like they were pushing that hard. It was just that, everyone was just in a line. You just couldn't pass. You'd really have to dive it down the inside and try to pull a slide job. But at that point, with Eric and I battling for the championship, I was probably going to give up a position to him if the slide job didn't work, because he would have just been running right behind the car that I was trying to get by. So I just kind of did what I could in that first stage and figured in the next one just try to get what I could and keep my tires under me and maybe get a couple positions. But that restart really worked out with whoever that was that restarted second, just didn't get going. So I just stuck with Nick, and that was that.
Yeah, Dan, you and Nick definitely stuck together that whole race there. At the end, it seemed like Nick was starting to lose some rear traction. Were you hoping? It seemed like you were definitely better through turns number 3 and 4, but it seemed like Nick was a little bit better in 1 and 2. Was that the case?
Yeah, he had a little more. I think he was a little more brave going into 1 and 2. I didn't quite want to send it like he did. There were a few times I could get a pretty good run off of 2, and 3 and 4, but without really forcing the issue and trying to put my bumper to him, I was just going to have to settle for a second place, and I was trying just to protect points as best I could. And with catching Demeester there towards the end, that kind of opened the door, and then I just kind of threw a prayer into 3 and 4 and tried to get it to stick as much as possible, but it just didn't have the speed coming out of the corner to even try to drag race him to the line.
Yeah, it was close. You're a car length back, half a car length, so it was close. But Dan, you come here into this race number 2 of the playoffs as the points leader tonight. A lot of red drivers with a lot of issues. I don't think there was a single clean red division car out there. Whole bunch of struggles. You able to very much extend your points lead, Dan. You got to be feeling pretty good headed to round number 3.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's the name of the game now. Getting that nice points lead last week with lots of bonus points, winning the race and then coming out here. I think got 1 extra bonus point running 5th there at the end of the first stage. But just looking to protect the lead. We'll go to California, try to get the pole and try to go out there and win it, but protecting points at the same time.
Yep, that will be the name of the game as the playoffs are already halfway down and Dan Parmley extends his championship lead. But before we let you go, Dan, I'll hand over the mic to you and let you thank who you got to thank for the 710 crew here for the runner-up finish.
Yeah, definitely giving a shout out to the team PPM. I wish Eric could have had a better finish tonight. I think he had penalty there on pit road. LibertyLive.Church, Tag Array for sponsoring the team and the series. Give a shout out to you in turn 3. Of course, give a shout out to the family for watching, and my wife letting me come out here on Monday evening, take a little time away to go run with you guys.
Alrighty, well, awesome stuff from the 710 camp, like always, Dan. I look forward to probably be talking to you at Auto Club next week, and hopefully by the end when the series on wraps up. So, Dan, you have yourself a great rest of your night, and congrats once again on the runner-up finish.
Thank you, Brett. We'll see you next week.
Alrighty, folks, that was our second place finisher, Dan Parmley. Now we will talk to our race leader, Nick Fleury. Do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
I do.
Alrighty, Nick. How was this 25 machine? And you get the job done, but with a lot of pressure in your mirror. How'd you do it? How was the car?
The car was excellent, just steady, consistent. It was pretty easy to just pedal it in there and just hang on to it. Yeah, I was getting a lot of pressure, but he was probably way faster than me, but it was pretty easy to just kind of hang on the outside and hold a guy behind you. Give Dan a lot of credit for hanging back there for so long. Probably getting frustrated, me not going blisteringly fast, but it was a tough track to pass on if you tried to go down to the inside.
Yeah, it seemed like the only way, especially once those tires started to get worn, was to pass on the top side, and I think you knew that pretty well in that 25 cockpit, just making sure that you hit your marks. It seemed like Dan Parmley was a little bit stronger through 3 and 4 in that last run, but you're a lot braver and a lot better in 1 and 2. Was that the case?
Yeah, probably. He was probably faster than me all the way around, to be honest. But if you just kind of put yourself up there, there's not a whole lot a guy can do sometimes if you're consistent.
Alrighty, Nick. Well, we'll jump a little bit earlier in the race here, get a little recap. You come out of pit road second, but you see Largan only take 2 tires, comes down pit road. You inherit the race lead. What's going through your mind there on the restart, and what was your game plan going forwards from there?
Well, at that point, it was just all about just protecting that tire for as long as I can before I start pushing it, and then just hanging on to that lead and seeing where things went from there. That was definitely a big gift from Matt to get the lead, because otherwise I probably would have sat behind him the rest of the race.
Yeah, that 4 car was definitely quick. He did catch you and Dan, but I think burnt up his stuff big time trying to catch you guys. So a bummer to see him leave the session just at the end of the race. But Nick, awesome job coming down pit road. You were the first to come down. Was that the case? Split the second stage in half and make sure no one really short pitted you too much?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you just got to put it in half and not sacrifice the start of the let's see, the end of that first run or the end of the race there. Just put it in the middle and be fast and consistent the entire way.
Well, awesome job, Nick. Normally, sometimes you're out there in the iRacing pace car, pacing around the field. Tonight, you're out here in the 25 machine. Love to see it out on track and, of course, down in victory lane. Doesn't get much better than that. Before we let you go and celebrate, Nick, I'll hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank for this 25 crew here tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Brett. First, I'll start off with Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, and then my beautiful wife. Her and I are about to go on a vacation, and we're going to have a lot of fun after this win. Then I need to thank my sponsors, CPM Incorporated, Django Home Improvements, Mike's Garage, and then finally my teammates over at REG Racing. We've got a pretty good program over here, and we have a lot of fun racing with each other.
That I bet, Nick. Well, awesome job here tonight, picking up the win here at Atlanta. A very tricky track, so it just showed you what kind of speed and what kind of drivers in the 25 machine when he does decide to come out here and race. And Nick, you have yourself a great rest of the night. I'm going to go wrap up in the booth, but I'll be down for the after party down in Victory Lane.
Sounds good. Take care, Brett.
Alrighty, folks, that was our race winner, Nick Fleury, in the 25 machine, getting the job done and parking in Victory Lane. Carson, you still there?
Yeah, Brett, I'm still here. I'm still live.
Alrighty, man. What'd you think of that race? I thought another great playoff race here from the ASRC Sportsman Division drivers.
Yeah, Brett, that race was awesome. The battle there between Dan and Nick at the end, being like they were stuck together. You could throw a blanket over them. They couldn't lose each other, and to come down to the last lap like that was awesome. And I think some of the drama we saw tonight is a sign of things to come for the rest of these playoffs. So I advise everyone to stick around. These last 2 rounds should be wild and a lot of fun.
That they will. Of course, it'll be on the same time, same place here at 9 o'clock from the Turn 3 Racing Network on Monday nights. Be sure to tune on in for the final 2 races. It's only going to ramp up in intensity, Carson, as Dan Parmalee able to extend his lead to about 15 points over Eric Papanow. And Johnson, who takes the Blue Division lead here with 7 points over John DeMeester. So, Carson, it's about to get good here. It's been a heck of a race, and I want to thank you for coming in the booth and being a co-commentator. Always enjoy having you.
Thank you, Brett. And do we need to run over the finishing order?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Good call. Good call. As we will go through tonight, finishing order. Of course, down in Victory Lane, we got Nick Fleury for RHU Racing in the 25 machine. Dan Parmalee in the 710 from PPEM will bring it home second. Rounding out our podium, Brian Wilderson in the 951. John Wimbish finishes in 4th and wins the Blue Division. And then Johnson New picks up the Blue Division points lead and rounds out the top 5.
Yeah, Brett, how about that? Johnson New moving up 12 spots in the top 5. And then to go from there, in 6th place was the 82 car of Jerry Cochran Jr. In 7th was the noseless 38 car of Dave Payton. In 8th place was the 27th of Lee Campbell, the first car lap down. In 9th place was the slide-in driver, Ron Hart. And then in the 051, and then to round out your top 10, the Blue Deuce of John DeMeester.
Yeah, bringing it home. 11th is Eric Papanow in the 43 car. 12th is Matt Largan in the 4. A bummer to see him down there. 13th is Tommy Haynes with some difficulty. Same with Kyle Munson finishing 14th. Eric Lake 15th. And Jerry Cochran the 3rd rounds out tonight's starting field. And Carson, great race. Can't wait to see what happens here. And like I said, be sure to catch out the racing action next Monday night. Same time, same place. And got to give a shout out to all the competitors out here throwing on a show, keeping up the action-packed racing. We love to see it. Got to give a shout out to all the live viewers that spent their Monday nights listening to me and you, Carson, talk. Appreciate every single one of you. Got to give a shout out to Debbie out there in the YouTube chat lands. Appreciate you always chiming on in, cheering on Dan the Man Fan Club. And Carson, I am pumped up to go to Auto Club next week. It's going to be another barn burner.
It's going to be a can't-miss show, Brett. Just like tonight. Like I said, I think tonight is a sign of things to come. We'll see some of this drama from tonight play out throughout these last 2 rounds, and I say everyone should try to stay tuned.
Yep, stay tuned, and everyone have a great rest of the week. Stay safe, have a good one, and we will catch you all next week. This has been Brett the Jet from Turn 3 Network with Carson in the booth. Everyone have a great one. We will catch you all later. Have a good one. Just flew by you.
See you, everyone.